Hey, welcome to the Small Business Made Simple podcast, brought to you by socialmediaandmarketing.com.au. Being in business is never easy, but it can be simple, or at least simpler. Join me, your host Jen Donovan, every week where we focus on marketing, social media, and working towards simplifying your business. You with me? Let's do this.
Dream it big, 'cause someone out there listening. Everyone's got a voice to give, and it's time I heard you whistling, 'cause there's no point at all, in dreaming small.
Hello and welcome back to another short, sharp episode. This is episode 167 and we are talking about 8 ways to come up with new content ideas. What to post is probably one of the top 3 questions I hear from my audience as their reason for not wanting to post on social media or not getting into a rhythm of posting on social media because they just don't know what to post. They simply don't have any ideas left in the bank. So here's 8 simple ideas to stimulate some content creation from you. So let's get into it. Number 1, do a brain dump. Get all those ideas that have been floating around in your head for weeks, months, days, or hours onto a piece of paper or onto a spreadsheet or onto a Google Doc, however you work, but get them from out of your head into somewhere else, onto paper. No matter how silly or how small the idea is, get it down on paper. Number 2, share a personal story that your audience can relate to and tell people a little bit more about you. Include a call to action, of course, but storytelling is a great way of creating content. Do some research on what your followers are asking or talking about on social media. So go and get social on social and watch for patterns and build content around what you find. Number 4, research recent events or updates in the world. For instance, every time Facebook does something different, if that's relevant to your audience, share it. Or every time the government changes something, if that's relevant to your audience, share it. You get the gist. Start looking for things outside your world that people in your world would like to know about. So that's kind of called curating content as opposed to creating content. Number 5, read blogs, listen to interviews, listen to podcasts. Again, look for patterns of conversation. It only takes sometimes one sentence or one thing for somebody to say, to speak, to spark an idea of a realm of content that would be relevant to your audience. Number 6, read over the comments on your own social media. What are people talking about? What are people asking? What are people commenting back to? What are you commenting on? What's catching your eye on social media? Number 7, repurpose. This is definitely my favorite. If you haven't listened to episode 53, I think it is, not 153, just episode 53, which is all about 11 ways to repurpose one piece of content. It's one of the best, most downloaded podcasts that I've done. So go and check that out, because repurposing is certainly one of my favorite things to do as far as building content goes. What did you produce 6 months ago, 12 months ago, or 3 months ago that can be repurposed, refreshed, and reshared? Number 8. The last one, Facebook groups, another great place to hang out and see what people are asking or what people are talking about that's inside your niche. Again, you could do a poll inside a Facebook group and get an idea of what people are thinking that can help you really create content that then your audience will engage with. It still takes research for sure, and marketing isn't easy, but it's definitely more simple than you think it is. I really hope that these tips have really helped you think about content just a little bit differently. But, remember, valuable content that you're creating doesn't have to be shared once. If it's valuable, share it over and over and over again. But that's it. I will see you next time on another podcast episode. I really hope you're enjoying these tips and tricks. Please go and leave me a rating and a review if you are. Otherwise, I will see you on the next episode. But remember, my small business peeps, as my opening song says, there is no point in dreaming small.
No time like the present. Tell it like you feel it. Say it proud, be true, and let us see you for the star that you are. No point in dreaming small.
I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land, the Yorta Yorta people, on which I record this podcast and conduct my business today, and pay my respects to their elders, past and present. I extend this respect to the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people here with us today as well.